must thank the VAR India team completely for organizing this event in a hybrid manner. I think this is the world where we belongs to. So really appreciate Deepak and the full team for doing this activity in a hybrid manner. But I just love the physical event. So it's always better to meet people, interact, and then work towards it. So really thank you so much. As I speak, I think Veeam had a tremendous year where it started from around $1.2 billion. That's a run rate revenue which we have achieved. Please keep in mind, this is a purely software company, and we have achieved $1.2 billion run rate revenue, and this is a 100% channel-centric company. Not a single dollar we do it directly. It's 100% going through our partners, and more important, this doesn't include any kind of professional services, which means this is an opportunity for all my partners to earn the revenue from a bottom line standpoint of view also. More than, if you look at the 200 plus industry awards, more important is that 82% of my revenue is also coming from Fortune 500 companies. So that means we are pretty much entering into an era where Fortune 500 are going to be the key customers for us. And last but not the least, this NPS scores, Net Promoter Score. If you look at in the industry, my peers in the competition side are below 20%. We are the one who are leading the curve and going into a 75 plus. And keep in mind, this is the NPS scores which keep growing continuously. I think if you look at the journey from a Gartner Magic Quadrant, this is we started, where first time we entered into a 2017. Keep in mind, sir, this is the company which was born in 2008, and then in 2017, we are the first time leaders in a Gartner Magic Quadrant. And our journey started, not only we are going on an x-axis, but also on the y-axis we continue to grow. And as I speak, this year, when the data is published, Veeam is leading the curve both on x-axis as well as y-axis, and more about execution. And this is where we are scoring a lot more marks as compared to anybody else. And this is also the completeness of vision. It's not only about data protection. How do you make it availability, replications, everything when you look at, in totality, Veeam is scoring big time marks as far as Gartner stand is concerned. And if Gartner is recognizing Veeam, I think some of the other players like IDC is also not behind. We are number 2 right now. Are we happy? No, may not be. But I think more important is that the software revenue which we are clocking, and more important is also the one which we are growing at the rate. When the industry itself is growing approximately at around 2.9%, 3%, we continue to grow at 25% over here. And that shows that our strategies are right, our products are right, and we are executing it also in the right way. And then naturally, this is not only the worldwide, the same scenario is happening in India also. We continue to lead the conversations with customers, and customers prefer to adopt Veeam for their complete availability suite. I think COVID has changed big time. Our life has changed. And what we see is the cloud growth. Cloud growth in terms of it's not only adopting the hybrid cloud, but it is also adopting the public cloud. And the second one is when people adopt the cloud, it's also about making a journey. Sometimes people go to the cloud, sometimes people come back also. SaaS acceleration. And this is where it comes that people will always adopt something which is standard. They don't want to reinvent the wheel. Somebody else has done it. I would love to adopt that. And that's the reason proliferation of SaaS applications continues. And the last one is that everybody of us seen is that ransomware protection becomes really, really critical, because we have seen so many companies are getting attacked from a ransomware standpoint of view. And the growth is tremendous over there. So which means we need to be more proactive in protecting the ransomware also. And while doing this, I think the one thing which we realize is that the legacy protection may not be the right one. And that's where Veeam comes in and gives you a solution that protects not only the legacy workloads, but also the modern workload over there. Yeah? And look at, the stat says that 37% of the backup jobs fails. That means I'm not in a position to even backup. Because of the pandemic, sometimes people have missed the SLAs of even doing a tape out, which was not possible, or move the tapes from one location to other location was not possible. These are the things which we have solved the problems for a lot of customers over there. I think we see a tremendous shift in the market. It started with consolidation, then we moved to virtualization, and then when we moved to a private cloud, I think now we are going into a hybrid cloud era. And we, earlier slides also talked about that hybrid cloud is the way forward. But when we are moving to a hybrid cloud, I think important is that the protection. And that's where Veeams Vision comes in. We are the most trusted provider of backup solution that delivers modern data protection. Modern data protection. It's not only about doing the legacy one. Of course, your core banking needs to be protected, your core application needs to be protected, but also when people move to a public cloud, those applications also need the protection. The second one which we talked about earlier was about the proliferation of SaaS application. Those SaaS applications, and just to give you a couple of examples over there, whether you look at O365 or whether you look at SFDCs, that's the one which also the data resides and data also needs to be protected. And Veeam is the only one who is providing that complete solution. This slide will tell you that what Veeam can do. We started with virtual, and whether it started with VMware, then Hyper-V, then Nutanix HP, and now Red Hat. Everything, all the hypervisor, which means anything which is virtualized, we can protect that data. The next thing which we said that, oh, there is enough market for us to capture on the physical side. And that is where, whether you look at Windows or Linux, or even the Mac machines now which we have, is in a position, comes in the physical era, and we protect that data. The third pillar, these are the basic building blocks for us, is also about the cloud. And when you look at any cloud, whether you look at AWS, Azure, GCP, or any private cloud, we are in a position to protect that data over here. And last but not the least is the SaaS cloud. And this is where I talked about is that whether you look at Office 365 or whether you look at OneDrive, and now even the Salesforce. This is where the data resides, and we are in a position to protect that. But the beauty of Veeam is not only about protection, but the beauty of Veeam is for all, whether you look at physical, whether you are looking at virtual, or whether you look at cloud, everything has been protected with one single license. Keep in mind, that's the investment protection Veeam brings in. That this is where everything is protected by one single license. You don't need to go back to anyone and ask for it. And last but not the least, the same license, the same virtual physical cloud can be bought by a customer via partners like you in a consumption-based model, which means it can be a per month, per instant, per virtual machine, per Mac machine, per Windows machine. People have a choice. And that is where Veeam's beauty lies. This is the platform. This is an architecture slides. I'm sure a couple of times you have seen that. But it's all about important. It's not only about backup. It's a complete stack which Veeam offers. It starts with backup, but it also goes into a monitoring and analytics. It goes into a cloud mobility. It also goes into a DR orchestration. So Veeam is the only one with the same single license. You can do multiple things. Of course, you can take the modular approach also. But having said that, I think we are the one who are saying that it's a stack solution which Veeam can offer to you. And when we talk about modern data protection, I think it's people started adopting containers and Kubernetes big time. And containers and Kubernetes doesn't mean that it's only in the cloud side. It's also a lot more customers. And as I speak to a lot of BFSI or telco customers, they are the one who are adopting this really, really well when it comes to on-premises also. And that is where Veeam has acquired the company 2 years back about Quadrant, who provides the protection and availability solution for containers and Kubernetes. And keep in mind, I think that's a phenomenal opportunity for all our partners, because every deal when we do is really, really large one. Literally large one. This is not a 10K, 20K game. This is all about $500,000, $1 million deals which we want to work along with all of you to build a Quadrant over there. And last but not the least, I think Veeam, as I said, that you can buy in a consumption base also. This is where you can use the same licenses for the migration purpose also. Yeah, and from anywhere to anywhere. Whether you look at from vSphere to AHV, vSphere to Azure, or it can be even to a Red Hat one. All these things you can do it, and you can use Veeam licenses for the migration purpose also. I think Veeam is all about choice. Whether you look at choice of hypervisor, whether you look at choice of hardware, or it can be a choice of your cloud also. Yeah, and it's all about choice which Veeam brings in. I think last 2 slides, friends. This gives me a tremendous satisfaction that look at some of the customer satisfaction what has come in. And these are all Indian customers talking about Veeam, that we have brought a change in their life, right? Whether it is and it's all about recovery. It's not only about backup. Yeah. So if we bring a change in people's life, that gives me a more satisfaction. Last thing, this is the team where you can reach out. Please take a quick snap. Anything related to Veeam, you want to start a partnership, you want to scale the partnership, you need any help, this is the team where you can go back. And more important, you can reach out to them. I've deliberately given their mobile numbers and email address. Please reach out to them, and they will be more than happy to help you. Thank you so much, friends. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much.